Are you going to come and sit with mummy? Say hi. Hi guys, please excuse the hair. I'm still trying to, do you remember a couple of weeks ago I was trying to do that like mermaid curl thing? I think I've kind of nailed it, but not quite. I need to do plaits and then I need to get some hair oil to stop the frizz. Anyway, hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sasha. I chat shit for a living, and if you're not new here, then you will know that as a confirmed fact. I have actually just got out of the shower, would you believe? I've put my comfy dressing gown on. I've made myself a delicious coffee. This is honey, sea salt, vanilla, and cinnamon latte. I say latte because I fucked up the milk. Anyway, last time I did one of these Q&A questions, you guys loved it with the little mini mic. That's a lovely sniffins. Mummy loves you. And you guys loved it, and it's been a really long time since we've done a big catch up on YouTube. So I thought, you know what? Hell yeah, let's do one again. And you loved this vibe. You loved the vibe of, actually, I thought maybe if I twist you a little bit, you get that ambiance, and it's quite nice, isn't it? I had some questions on a Q&A, and then I had some questions from the big beefy chat, which if you're not a part of on the broadcast channel on Instagram, we do have a scream. So I've got a few questions, like I screenshotted them like that, and then I've got some in my, my beefy chat group. Are you going to settle down? That's lovely. Okay, this is actually such a great question. What's your go-to snacks this month? I don't know whether like snacks, if this counts as snacks, but one thing I've got really back into are my bean bowls, which is where I basically slow cook baked beans and then I top them with medium boiled egg, really finely chopped red onion, cheese, a bit of chili oil, maybe spring onion, something like that. Really been back into those. I've also been, oh God, this is so dull. It's going to be like all healthy stuff. It's not. There are some other things that I've been loving. I've also been really into my yogurt bowl. So yogurt, chia seed, flax seeds, loads of toppings, banana, nuts, honey, cinnamon, all of that I've been loving. I'm actually forever and a day obsessed with Pick Mix, and I've hyperfixated on this company in New York who do Swedish candy, and I think it's called Little Sweet Treat. But I did some research and realised that Candy King in the UK is also Swedish candy, which is my favourite pick mix. So, that's so good. So I'd definitely say I've been back on my pick and mix hype this month. I absolutely love the butter kissed salt and sweet and salty popcorn. I'm obsessed with that. Oh, and then, okay, again, a bit boring, but I'm obsessed with green beans dropped into boiling water for 4 minutes, then tossed in extra virgin olive oil, lemon, sea salt, and fresh parsley. I could eat buckets of it. Like, I crave it. Obsessed. They're probably my snacks. What a fantastic question. What is your dream holiday? And bonus question, what is your dream meal on that holiday? Whoa. God, I have so many dream holidays, but I think there is no denying that my number one dream holiday right now is Japan. I am so beyond desperate to go. What isn't my dream meal over there? Ramen, all of the sushi, fatty tuna, like mochi. Oh, I can't even, like, I really feel like I need to start planning that trip because, yeah, desperate. By the end of 2026, what are 5 things you'd like to achieve or experience? Great question again. You guys are fantastic. Okay, 2026 for me in my head is my big career year. I have loads of individual goals for that basically leans more into, that basically is like everything I'm doing, I just want to expand that. So, you know, you guys know that the big career dream is Strictly. That's all I've ever wanted. So if Strictly 2026 wants to be manifested, then there's dreams come true, and then there's dreams come true. Like, that would honestly be a dream come true. And I feel like I have been grafting / begging on the internet for the last 5 years for this to be my reality. So, you know, we made the Wicked premiere happen. Like, there is a possibility. The community on YouTube, I want to grow. I really want that to be a focus. I love YouTube so much. I love the atmosphere, the energy, the connection, the community vibe to it. So I would really, really, really love to expand that and be able to like reach more people. So if you are the person who comments, like, subscribe, I cannot tell you how much that means to me, how much it helps me. When you share on your stories, showing that you're watching a vlog helps beyond. So thank you. That is the plan. In terms of the house, I really want to get the house to a more finished state than what it's in now. I know it looks pretty finished, but there's so much left to do. And there's so many more things that I want to do to make it just feel like how I always envisaged it. Obviously, so many things went wrong within the renovation, but now I'm in a place where I can only do what I can control. So there's that. I'm having the garage converted into an office, which sounds like this really big bougie thing, but it's actually more of a necessity. Like I have to have that done for insulation reasons, to keep it real. I'm getting out a loan to do that because that's just how houses work. Like you don't always have the cash lying around to do work on it that needs to be done, but I'm managing my money in a way that I can make that a possibility. So there's that by the end of the 2026. I want to continue focusing on my health and my wellness as best I can. I feel like this year has been one of the biggest turning points for me in terms of how I've been looking after myself. My relationship with food has never ever been better. My relationship with exercise needs improving. And I think in 2026, I just want to be a lot more consistent with those things. I want to get back into journaling. I want to start looking at like other forms of therapy that are a bit more holistic and spiritual, that sort of stuff. So like a real focus on me and my wellness and like all of that. I think maybe the last thing is I would like to implement a bit more travel into my... Oh no, wait, I've got two things. I would like to implement a bit more travel into next year, 2026. I think that would be really fun. There's so many things I want to do, especially as I feel like, you know, I've been honest with you guys that I'm 34. I am thinking about having children one day, and I want to make sure that I just maximize life, to be honest. I think the last one is continue my financial health. Guys, I'm really sorry if you can hear the dog snoring. I have pulled myself out of the worst position I've ever been in financially over the last year, and I'm so proud of the way that I now manage my money. Leads on to this next question perfectly. Any budgeting tips? Would love to get better at it and get some savings banked. Okay, do you know what? Yes, I do have some tips. First of all, there's two things, Monzo and ChatGPT. With Monzo, it is such an easy user face to understand, and especially if you do have like ADHD or struggle with sort of like words and instructions, I find Monzo a very visually pleasing app to use. The other benefit with Monzo is the pots that you can create. So being able to physically see it in front of you, the money separated, has helped me so much. So I have a tax savings pot. Any invoice I get paid, I take 20% out and put it away into a pot. I have a mortgage and bills pot, which is basically a pot of money that I like to keep healthy in case of emergency. Because I'm self-employed, you don't know when the next invoice is coming in, and even if you do, chances of them paying it are fucking slim. I like to make sure that I have a minimum amount of money in that bank account so that I can always at least pay 2 months mortgage, bills, all of my outgoings without having to panic. So worst case scenario, I can buy myself 2 months basically. So that's in that account. Then I have a individual savings account, which is the only something I've just recently started. So I have like a small amount of money in there for, you know, whatever you would class your savings to be, whether it's, for instance, I had to dip into it the other week because I had to have something done to my car, which was like 300 quid. So rather than eating into my like monthly allowance, I just took it out of my savings and I was just like, it is what it is. And then I also have a food budget pot. So that's how I manage with Monzo. The other thing is the interest rates for saving accounts on Monzo are also really great. So I'm also earning interest on those pots. And I can't remember the exact thing, but it's also a FCR or FCPR or something. I don't even know. I'll put it up on the screen. Monzo is a protected bank account, which means if anything happens to Monzo, your money is safe. Whereas when I was with Plum, that wasn't quite the case. I'm not Martin Lewis Money Supermarket, but I did the research. I had friends help me, and that's the vibe. Then the other thing I would do, and it's really difficult for me to explain this without being self-employed, but I feel like actually if you have a monthly wage coming in, it should perhaps be easier because you always know what's coming. I literally list everything out. So I tell chat that my mortgage pot has this much. I still have a little bit of a credit card debt left to pay off, but the interest doesn't end until February. It will always take my 20% for my tax. I put that aside, and then I give it the breakdown of where I am. So my Amex, my American Express has this amount on, my credit card has this amount on, and the credit card is a debt that I've carried over from being in that horrendous situation. So I've been chipping away at that constantly, but chat's really helped me do that. So sometimes if I get a bigger invoice amount, I'll take my non-negotiables away and put them to the side, and then it looks at the other accounts and it's like, okay, well, your mortgage and bills buffer is not too bad. Why don't you put X amount on your credit card now, because that you've got the availability to be like chop into it a bit more, and then it gives me an allowance at the end of it. I physically like clam up at the thought of numbers. If you asked me how much a chocolate bar costs, I wouldn't be able to tell you. Like, I have no ability to like compute numbers and the way they work. So without chat doing this, I just don't know what I would do. I would probably have to pay some sort of like financial consultant because I'm just useless. I can just about add 2 + 2, 4. Yeah, so that's basically what I've been doing, and I just feel so proud of myself for getting myself in that position, especially as like when I got divorced, that was one of the things that I just struggled with so much because he would just do it all for me. That was just one of his jobs, and that was, you know, the way that it worked. So I'm really proud of myself having learned that for myself. I also think having an American Express is such an incredible thing to do for money management. Basically, if you don't know how American Express works, you build up points. There's loads of different options of cards. I have the gold one, and that's because the conversion rate for spending into points is the highest and it's the least amount of money paid per year. There is a free one, but the point conversion is shit. So I will leave my Amex link down below. Basically, if you sign up with that link, I think it's the same with Monzo, so I'll do the same. If you sign up with that link, you get rewarded and I get rewarded. I think with Monzo, it's actually cash, and with American Express, it's points. But what that means is I've built up so many points on my American Express just by spending on it, but only spending on it what I would spend on my debit card. But then I will move my debit card money into a pot and pay the Amex off every month at the end of every month. So I've now built up enough points to like book a return business flight to New York if I wanted to. That comes with its own complications. But like what I'm saying is you're spending that money anyway, so you may as well get rewarded for it. I have my Nectar linked up to American Express, so I try and always get my petrol from Sainsbury's so that links to points. And then I've converted all of those American Express points into Avios and then using them for a trip next year by the looks of it. That's my budgeting tips for you. There's so much more you could learn. I've not even like dabbled in investing or anything like that. I don't understand it. It blows my mind, but I definitely want to like just continue broadening my knowledge in that area. Spill Live is coming to you in January. So excited. Me and Bills can't wait. It's going to be wicked. It is going to be like best friends in a room that I've never met before. Really, really excited about that. You get to be part of one musical and can choose the cast who's with you. These sorts of questions I'm so bad at because I have such an awful memory, like that I can't think off the top of my head. And then a bit later down the line, I'll be like, oh, why don't I say that? I honestly think that my dream role, my number one dream role would be to play Nancy in the West End. And I think that dream has been, sorry, when I get emotional. I think that has been my dream since I was a kid. That part, those songs, everything about her. So I think that would be my dream. And I know that I've spoken to you guys about I have obviously been picking up those skills again and nurturing those skills and learning those skills. I've been having singing lessons. I had quite a few acting lessons in the summer and we'll be picking those back up hopefully a few months time, like in next year. So yeah, it's exciting that I'm finally accepting that if I work hard enough and continue on the trajectory that I am, there is no reason why these opportunities can't be for me. And I think one of the biggest blockages in life is actually getting to a place where you accept that you could be worthy of that or that you are worthy of that. And that is very much how I feel about performing again. I think I'm starting to believe that it could happen for me one day. Any good anti-inflammatory diet pointers, good accounts to follow, recipe research sites? You guys know that I've mentioned to you I wanted to focus on, now having been diagnosed with PCOS, that I want to try as best I can to follow more anti-inflammatory diet choices. First person that I can recommend off the top of my head is Sophie Richards. She's also on YouTube. She's on Instagram. She makes incredible content on Instagram, all about anti-inflammatory living, endometriosis, PCOS. And I find her incredible. Grace Beverley also has a podcast where she's done quite a lot of episodes talking to different practitioners about PCOS and anti-inflammatory. And I try not to overwhelm myself with stuff. You could go to the absolute extreme. And I know Sophie Richards talks about you know, if you really want to learn and understand your body, you have to go through this diet where you basically eliminate everything for a certain amount of time and then reintroduce foods. And just quite frankly, I can't be asked for it. So what I've tried to do is implement little changes that I think will help me. First thing being, every single morning I wake up and I have my Epitome, which is my gut pro and prebiotic. I work with them over on Instagram. I am obsessed with them as a company. The product is absolutely insane, and I feel like it's made a huge difference to me, my diet, and the way that it's worked alongside the GLP-1 medication has been a game changer. And I really noticed a significant difference since introducing that. So I will always have that on an empty stomach with water, and then about half an hour later I will try and have breakfast. I have dabbled with fasting for so long, and I feel like my body has recently undergone a bit of a physical change, and the one thing I've started to do is eat breakfast. And that then has also led into the fact that I'm not training or going to the gym fasted, which is another thing that's meant to be beneficial for PCOS. My diet on the whole is just like better. I said that maybe that 80% is turning into 90%. As I've been even more conscious of it. I will always make sure that my protein and fiber are the things that I'm consciously trying to hit first. And my breakfast, I will try and make sure that has quite a significant amount of protein in it. For instance, the other day, I actually had leftover chili con carne for breakfast with a fried egg on top, because I knew that like I'd made that from scratch. There was loads of veg in it: peppers, carrots, celery, onion, garlic, and then I obviously had the minced beef, so it was like high in protein. Yeah, so that's been the diet. But the things that I've implemented as a new and more strict sort of conscious things are not coffee on an empty stomach, making sure I eat breakfast and not fasting, and then also making sure that I'm training, having eaten breakfast, not fasted. So that's what I will say on that. Okay, last question. About to start a renovation project. Any tips, please? Yeah, don't do it. I'm joking. My biggest tip for starting a renovation project is finding good and reliable builders, which is so much easier said than done. 99% of the people I have spoken to who have had a renovation done have struggled with this problem, and it is so important that you find people that are right for you. The mistake I made was going with someone that I knew and not getting comparisons elsewhere. So because I knew them or knew of them through somebody, I trusted them. That trust went too far on my part, and I regret that, because I could have found better builders, 100%. For instance, back then I didn't get 3 quotes from 3 builders. I just went with that based off a recommendation. The other thing that I would say is, if you can afford it, I totally understand why you would have a project manager, and whether the building company offer that or not is something that you need to like work alongside with. Project manager / interior designer. An interior designer doesn't just give you like funky little cushions and pick your light and shade for you. They actually have like a further in-depth knowledge of like what things work in certain spaces. Like in your ensuite, does it work to have like a back set shower shelf? Like, what does that mean? What would they recommend? What wouldn't they recommend? That's really beneficial. Take your time. Take your time before you book that first thing. So you've got your Pinterest boards, you know what style you want, you know what things are. One of my mistakes that I made in this renovation was I rushed things and I tried to do things quickly, because the situation I was in, like I had, coming out of a divorce and stuff like that, I had nowhere that was mine. I was in a state of urgency to ground myself in my roots. And I think if I was to go back and redo it again, I just wished I'd have taken my time. I wish I'd have got more recommendations. I wish I'd have compared builders, and I wished I'd have thought longer and harder about the choices I made in this house. With the garage conversion, the builder that I'm using, I've met him in March. So March 2025, I met him. I have not given him more than a coffee. He has answered any question I've asked him. He's revised quotes. He's been round to the house and done a full building report on the renovation and basically confirmed that everything I've said about it and felt about it is accurate. He has recommended me other tradesmen. So the roof of the garage has actually already been done, and it was done incredibly, and I had an amazing experience. So that also proved to me that the whole thing wasn't in my head, and great tradesmen do exist, but they're all based off my experience. And then my overarching piece of advice is be patient, because things will crop up, things will go wrong. You can plan until you're blue in the face, but you can't plan for things that are out of your control, and you just need to be ready for those little changes to like come. Oh, the other thing is it will cost an obscene amount of money. Whatever money you think you're going to spend, double it. Although I do believe that if you have good builders, that shouldn't happen. And I will just say one other vital piece of information on your renovation journey. Do not, for the love of God, pay anybody the full amount of anything until that job is completed to a standard that you are happy with. Don't do it. Don't do it. I feel like I've answered most of the questions. I really enjoy doing these, and obviously we are approaching Vlogmas season. There's so much content coming, and I think in amongst the vlogs and makeup videos and all like the Christmassy style stuff, which I can't lie to you, I've never been more willing to click fast forward on Christmas than I am this year. I would love to just be in 2026 right now. But if you want to see more Q&As, or if you want me to go into deeper detail with other things, then let me know, and we can do like maybe like a whole renovation Q&A, or we can do a whole Q&A on body image and health and wellness, or like from my experience. Anyway, with that, I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I don't know if I've been 100% in this video. I've had a tension headache over this eye for like 4 weeks. Happy Sunday. Cheers. I hope you have a lovely weekend, and I will see you very soon.